night kept happening over and over, and each time you died a different way? Today we're recapping Until Dawn, 2025. Buckle up, here's everything you need to know. The story begins 1 year after the mysterious disappearance of Melanie Paul in the isolated Glore Valley, Pennsylvania. Her sister, Clover Paul, played by Ella Rubin, hasn't given up. She convinces her ex-boyfriend Max, best friend Nina, Nina's boyfriend Abe, and Max's stepsister Megan to join her on a weekend trip to the valley. They hope for closure, but what they find is something far worse. The group arrive at a gas station which appears in a video Melanie had taken before her disappearance a year prior. Clover goes inside and finds a store cashier who she shows a picture of Melanie. The man assumes that Melanie has gone missing and Clover is surprised. He states that many have gone missing in Glore Valley, which is just up the road. Clover leaves and tells her friends that she knows where Melanie last was. The group takes shelter in an abandoned visitor center as a storm rolls in. That night, everything falls apart. Nina signs the guest book and suddenly, the group notices Abe's car has vanished. They spot its headlights in the rain. As they approach, the car lunges toward them, forcing them to retreat inside. Clover, Max, and Megan head to the basement, where they find a radio and notice the odd presence of windows. Meanwhile, upstairs, Nina searches for Abe and discovers his body brutally cut in half by a masked killer known as the Slasher. The Slasher attacks her next. The others rush upstairs, only to find Nina dead with a pickaxe in her back. They flee to the basement. Max tries to fight him off, but is gruesomely killed. Megan is dragged from hiding and is also killed. Clover runs for the woods, but is fatally impaled after seeing what looks like her missing sister, Melanie. The hourglass rotates and the group wakes up at the start of the night again, bearing physical marks from their previous deaths. They discover missing person flyers for themselves, suggesting they're trapped in a supernatural loop. Megan, suffering from her psychic connection, enters a seizure and channels the voices of the missing, warning the group not to let them in. She snaps her own neck and dies again. Clover opens the door despite warnings and is dragged to a mysterious shack. Inside, she meets an old woman watching TV revealed to be a witch. The witch forces Clover to inhale from a cursed mask, possessing her. Meanwhile, Max tries to rescue her, but Abe and Nina flee, only for both to be killed by a giant creature and the Slasher. Inside the shack, possessed Clover kills Max, and then the Slasher runs her over. The night restarts again, and the group locks themselves in a bathroom. Abe drinks from a tap, previously thought broken, and vomits blood and organs, exploding violently. Nina is infected and explodes too. Megan, Max, and Clover all die gruesomely, one by one. The final scene shows Dr. Hill, drenched in blood, as Clover explodes in front of him. In the fourth night, as time restarts, the group's bodies begin changing, showing signs of Wendigo transformation. In the basement, they find Dr. Hill's recordings, revealing the death loop's purpose. If someone survives 13 nights, they become a Wendigo, consumed by fear and guilt. Hill speaks to them over a loudspeaker and says one must die to end the loop. Abe selfishly nominates others and argues that Clover, due to past trauma, is the best candidate. Hill claims to be with Melanie in the woods and Clover runs out to look for her. She is then attacked in the woods by Wendigo Melanie. Back inside, Nina kills Abe after he reveals his cowardice. Max and Megan try to save Clover, but Megan is dragged away. Max and Clover share a final moment before he kills her on her request, then explodes after drinking water. In the 13th night, Clover dreams of her last conversation with Melanie. She wakes up confused, but finds the guest book shows 13 signatures, confirming this is the final loop. Abe reveals he has recorded past loops, and they discover Megan is missing. Armed and determined, they enter the mines to save her, but are separated by the Slasher. Clover kills Wendigo Melanie by expressing love and forgiveness. She finds Dr. Hill's office, where he explains that her trauma powers the curse and each monster is a manifestation of her fears. She tricks Hill into drinking tainted water, and he explodes. Meanwhile, Abe, Max, and Nina finally defeat the slasher. Clover rescues Megan just before the Wendigo escapes. They dig their way out of the mines, just like Melanie once did. The others pull them to safety, and the hourglass runs out, breaking the loop. The group is seen escaping in Abe's car as dawn breaks. We finally see Dr. Hill is still alive, monitoring another group arriving at a snowy lodge. That concludes the movie. If you liked this recap, hit like, subscribe, and let me know which loop death creeped you out the most in the comments down below.